Here we are on beautiful Jones Street.
You saw Ted Jones.
That's funny. I used to live on 34th and 9th, so it's actually very... Do you have a side you want me to go on? Yeah, right over there. Okay.
34th and 9th. Is that right by Dwyer Avenue or Dyer Avenue?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay, nice. When did you live there?
I lived there up until this past September. Thank you for having me.
What's up? Of course. Now it's really hot today. Today's the day where you need some ice, I tell you that.
Yes.
Last time I saw Maggie on the street, you had a bag of ice.
Right. That's true.
And now you're here. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning because we don't know much about each other. I think we first met at Greenwich Village Comedy Club probably like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so where are you from initially?
I'm from Massachusetts initially, and I went to college in Wisconsin and then moved to New York.
You went to University of Wisconsin? Mm-hmm. Did you join a sorority there?
I didn't, but I worked at like one of those big like sports bars and was the only non-sorority bartender, so I felt like I got the experience.
You probably made so much money doing that right?
Yes, but also I was drunk a lot of the time, so I lost a lot of tips, I think, by being stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
But I feel like those kids would probably tip a lot.
They do, but then like they're drunk, so like they wouldn't like close their card. It was all there's just like it was a mess, and I was also underage too, so it was like a lot happening.
Was that allowed?
At the time, yeah.
But you're allowed to be a bartender and be under 21 though.
Yes,
you're
you
just
are.
Theoretically not allowed to drink.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And in Wisconsin they're pretty loose about drinking laws. Like if you are with your parents at a bar and you order a drink, it's fine.
You can drink at under 21.
Yeah, if your parents are there, which is really crazy.
That must be one of the only states that does that. I've never heard of that. That's insane.
My college roommate had like grown up in Wisconsin, has been there for like her whole life, and was like, "Wait, you don't have that in Massachusetts?" I was like, "No." That's
great. Did you ever go over state lines though to like you go to Connecticut to buy weed or something like that? Or was that before it was legal?
I don't. Yeah, it was before it was legal. So I don't think I had like friends with fake IDs who would try like like local places, but I never traveled anywhere for weed.
Being at I went to UConn.
Oh, nice.
And the drink specials that we had at UConn, we had this thing called Nickel Night. I've talked about it a few times here on the podcast, where you could get 4 drinks for $1. And when we were underage, you'd have to get to the bar because Nickel Night was from 6 to 7:30.
Okay.
So I was on the tennis team, and we would be done practice by like 5:30. We'd sprint back to the dorm, shower as fast as we can, and then sprint to the bar. We were in line by 5:50.
Yep.
We'd all line up on the front of the bar, order 4 drinks, down it as fast as we could. Like everybody would order 4 drinks. So by the time like 6:15 came around, we were all hammered, and then by the time like 7:30 came around, when the drinks went to like $5 a drink instead of a quarter a drink.
Yeah.
I was like passed out, lights on, shoes on in my apartment. It was insane. Binge drinking in college, I mean, has always been huge.
Huge.
I mean, like it almost would make sense for, I don't know, it would be healthier for parents not to send their kids to college, it sounds like.
Yeah. College is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And not everyone can handle it.
Yeah, that's true. And I think maybe more now a lot less people are thinking about going to college just because you can learn so much on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's also, I think so many more kids want to do like an abnormal path. Like I think, like I studied biology. I don't want to do it at all now, but like, so my parents are like, great, you want to be a comedian. Like that's so helpful.
Wait, but when you were studying biology, what was your thought? Like,
I wanted to go to med school. So that was like the whole plan.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think actually I was talking about this recently, like, I was talking to another comic and they were like, oh, are your parents horrified? And I was like, no, because I was so high strung all growing up, all through college, that I think that they were like med school could break her. Like she's going to be so stressed. So doing something that's like kind of, I mean, comedy's hard in its own way, but it's so much more relaxed and creative. I think they're happy that I'm doing that now.
Right. And also the comedy path and the you want me to help you out with that? Your head a little small. There you go. There she's got it. Okay, good.
Crushed it.
But the medical school path and
or I did not. I will get it.
You can make it small up top.
Yeah.
Those are always tough. You guys will see every single episode comedians have a tough time with these headphones. I may have to switch it up. Are those good? Is that good?
I think so. It's like every time I move my
shoulders. You also don't have to
shoulders.
wear it, or you can make it more comfortable. We got time.
If it falls again, I'll take them off. But I feel like I've got it this time.
She's got it this time. Okay.
Thank
But
you.
I was going to say the medical school path and the comedy career path are similar in that it takes a while for you to get off the ground.
It's a lot of, yes, it's a lot of like faith in an unseen future.
Right. But I think medical school also, to make it sound like they're not so similar, is that when you go to medical school, you know that by the end of it, if you actually do everything correctly, you're gonna do well. When in
Yes.
comedy, it's uncertain.
That was the biggest draw to me to go into med school, is I was really like scared to make decisions, I think, for my life. And following like a med school path, your life is pretty laid out for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
You have to do the work, but you have a trajectory. And that felt really great to me at the time.
Do you have a lot of friends who went to Wisconsin who came back to New York City or were from New York City?
I have a couple friends, but a lot of them were from the Midwest, still live in the Midwest.
And did you have thought, like, did you want to move to the Midwest, or you always wanted to move to New York?
I kind of always knew I wanted to move to New York, but I had this thought of like, if I know New York's where I'm going to end up, New England, why not see somewhere else and kind of like get a different experience? And I wanted like a true college experience. Like I toured Columbia and NYU, and they're great schools, obviously, but I was like, this is going to be a different experience than like a classic college one. Mm-hmm. So that's part of the reason why.
Did you apply to medical school?
Yes, did not get in.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But that, even applying to medical school is an insanely draining process.
I went far into it. And I think like, it's actually crazy. I don't even think my parents know this, but.
Are they listening?
Yeah, probably. Mom.
All right, let's go. What up? Mama Naughton.
Yeah. So it's the way the med school process works. You apply to a bunch of schools. I got rejected from so many places.
MCAT.
You take the MCAT. Yep, I did. And I I ended up getting offered an interview so close to when school would start. I must have been like a final round person where they're like, all right, well, she can come or whatever. And I didn't end up going because it had been so I think it had been a year since I had applied. I'd been rejected so many times. And I think I just had this feeling of this might not be the right path for me. But so in theory, I could have gone. I got an interview at once. I could have also still been rejected still.
What's the process after the interview?
After the interview, it's not a guarantee that you get in. There's still a vetting process within that.
Good. That water's all you, by the way.
Thank you. So I think there's a 50% chance after an interview that you get it.
Because you probably have to have a second and third round of interviews with the dean of admissions or applications and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And a lot. And I don't know if it seems like a lot less people are becoming doctors these days, but I think people just realize that career path is so difficult for maybe it's not the same as when our parents were applying to medical school.
I think also just debt is so much higher, and then
insane.
The amount of money you're not making is not offsetting that. I also worked in a hospital for 2 years, a year and a half after college. And just the burnout you would see in hospitals was so crazy. I think a lot of people start down that path and then they do their clinical hours and they kind of realize this might not be the right thing for me, just because the quality of life, depending on what you specialize in, can be so low.
Because you're spending 12 plus hours in the hospital.
You're spending sometimes 48. They'll do 48 hours.
Yeah,
shifts.
those insane shifts. One of my best friends growing up, who I'm going to his wedding in August. We're doing his bachelor party on a 2-day trip over the 4th of July, because those are the only 2 days that he gets off on a lake in Wisconsin.
That's nice.
So I'm going a little bit late because we have the 5th annual TEDJONESWORLD vegan hot dog eating contest at the Comedy Shop July 4th, 2 p.m. So if you guys want to compete, we have room for 10 competitors. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. That's very cool.
Yeah, the 5th annual one. The first 2 were on Zoom.
Okay.
Because it was during COVID. Then the 3rd one we did at the Stand. And then last year we did at the Moxie Williamsburg Hotel. Oh, great. And then this year it'll be at the Comedy Shop. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you compete?
No, I host.
Nice. Okay.
In the past, the past 3 years, I've done the first inaugural vegan hot dog, where I've eaten it as fast as I could. But I don't know. Maybe I want to find a vegan to do that. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would
But
be good.
during that, it's 10 minutes all you can eat, and then just during the contest, I'm hosting and I'm just talking.
Nice.
Just like a talking head.
Is it all comedians who compete or just vegans?
No, it is we do a comedy show after it, but it's half vegans, half food type of people. We'll see what kind of entries we get this year, but I would imagine that we'll have some food influencers covering the event, and Snapchat has interest in covering it too.
Oh, congrats!
So
That's
hopefully,
awesome.
Hopefully it'll be a bigger deal this year. But it's been fun building it up to this process, because everyone's like, "What's in a vegan hot dog?" I'm like, "You never asked what's in those other hot dogs.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it, And then also, every vegan hot dog is different.
Okay.
Some soy protein.
Variety, yeah.
Yeah, with the traditional hot dog, it's just
It's
you get the scraps of the pig in a little sheet or whatever it is.
So funny.
In a little tube.
Yeah.
So
Exciting.
should be fun. I'm excited. Yeah.
Very cool.
Do you have any plans for summer or what? Comedy? Are you going back to Massachusetts?
Yeah, mostly comedy. I'm opening for Tori Cole. I know
There
she's on
she
the
is.
pod.
Yes.
Yep. So I'm featuring for her in Boston in like a month. So going back to Massachusetts for that. And then I'm doing like random bachelorette stuff. I'm in a couple weddings this year, so kind of bopping around for that. But mostly just trying to like, I traveled a lot last year and it was great, but I kind of just want to be around this summer and do comedy. And
are the bachelorette parties and the weddings piling up for you now? Is it that's that period of life?
Yes, which is crazy because I guess like, so I'm 28 and I know like for some people that's probably late that it's just starting, but this is the first year I'm in weddings. And
But it feels like girls and young women are getting married later, right?
I would think. I feel like if I were getting married, I'd feel like a
you're doing
bride.
great. Yeah.
That would be scary.
Yeah, like our grandmas are worried about us probably.
Oh my God, yeah. They're like, this little harlot. I'm like,
Why? Did your grandma actually give you shit about not being married yet or what?
No, I think she's got bigger fish to fry. She's got a lot of grandchildren.
Okay.
But
how many cousins do you have?
I have, I want to say like 15 to 20.
Oh, wow.
And then now they're all, well, here's the thing though, that's a little stressful is I think I am now the oldest cousin who hasn't like, one's divorced, but hasn't at least tried marriage. So I think eyes are starting to look to me to be like anything. And I'm like, give me time.
Are you on the dating apps right now or what?
I have a boyfriend, but like not
nice.
that long. And I'll like, we're not like,
right.
One,
Is he listening?
He probably will.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. We're not getting married. I'm not saying that. So chill.
But he's from New York?
He's from California.
In your head, do you theoretically have big wedding plans? Do you want to like do the destination wedding, make people pay for the flights, the hotels, and the everything? It's too much. It's too much. Some of it, especially if you're in the bridal party.
Oh, it's so
you have
much
to you have to buy that dress.
I have to buy the dress.
The flights.
I have to go to Cancun this summer. Like it's a lot, and I'm excited. I'm happy for people.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Cancun that I've heard is that for the people who put on the wedding, like the people who go and get married there, it's cheap. But for everybody else who stays there, it's expensive, which is savage. You know what I mean? Like the Cancun hotels are like, oh yeah, like come to our hotel, do the wedding, but then the rooms for everybody else is just super expensive, and then the flights.
That's the thing.
You
so
know?
my friend is supposed to go to a destination wedding in Italy, and she was like, yeah, the reason why they want to do that is because it's really cheap to have like this nice wedding abroad, but everyone else has to pay all this money to get there.
And then you should get your money back if they're not married for more than 5 years.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I completely agree. Give me my toaster back. I don't care if it's crusty.
Yeah.
Like,
and what was that trendy toaster that was going around for a little bit? Because Kylie Jenner had it. What was it called? Smeg. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right, pop it up right here. Do you have your phone with you?
Yes, I do.
Let's look it up. Oh no, you don't. It's okay. We're popping it up right here.
Present.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. But yeah, it's like a white kind of photogenic toaster. I don't know. I think it was like $100 and everyone was buying it for a while. Do you shop on Instagram or TikTok though?
I do.
You do?
I do. I love it. But I have not had like a ton of success. I've almost returned all of it.
Is it easy to return though? Because Amazon is the easiest to return.
And Amazon, the best thing about Amazon is because they're so wealthy. If you try and return something, they'll just be like,
whatever. Go ahead.
They give you your money back, and a lot of times you don't have to return the item. You can just like keep the shirt, and they're like, "Fucking poor, here's your $20."
Yeah, and then I wonder, they probably have like a watch over you after that.
Yes, exactly. You know? I'm sure there's like a limit to how many times you can do that.
Yeah,
but.
I hate to say that, like, I love Amazon. You know, I know that I'm sure that they do a lot of things not great as a company, but the convenience factor is just like over the top.
Gosh, I'm constantly on Amazon.
Like 2 minutes before you came over, I was like, oh, I need Scotch tape. $4. I was like, okay, it'll be here tomorrow.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna walk. Are you
kidding? And like being in New York too, things are so fast paced that I'm so spoiled to it being fast paced. I imagine when you were growing up, things were a little bit slower. Your parents probably picked you up from parties. There weren't Ubers.
For sure.
Correct?
Oh yeah, there's no Ubers. Yeah. There was a lot of risky driving happening when I was growing up for sure. But
really?
Which my parents were pretty like they were definitely not like supportive of drinking, but like definitely had the vibe of if you needed a ride, like we would figure it out, that type of thing. But yeah, there were people who were known for being good drunk drivers, and that's not good.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I remember there were kids like that. I'm the best drunk driver.
What do you mean? You don't even, you have your learner's permit. So you're not even a good driver, period. But yeah.
I think soon enough we'll get those AI cars though, and people won't have to worry about even driving or getting an Uber?
Oh, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
But I mean, because that's the thing now is like, I think Uber was just becoming popular when I started college. So even now I'm like, you have really no excuse to drunk drive because Ubers are everywhere.
Did you guys have sober rides though in college, or people would
in college? People didn't really
Ubers?
Drive in Madison because it was all like the college and the city were so connected. You pretty much just
really?
walk. Sometimes we'd Uber, but no one had a car.
So
really.
being at UConn and I wasn't in a fraternity, these fraternities would have parties and they would have a sober driver. Like they'd have a freshman who was driving the members of the fraternity back and forth. They would pick up girls. But if you weren't in a frat, they had no incentive to pick up other dudes.
Right.
So me and my buddy on the tennis team would, no joke, would run to a party that was a mile away in like our Timberland boots with no jacket. Because once you go in that basement, it goes from 35 degrees outside to like 100 degrees down there.
God,
you're
so
sweating.
sweaty.
And then you go outside and then we'd be sprinting home wasted at 2 a.m. on the side of the road. It was insane.
Funny.
Life before Uber is tough. And then you watch some of the, I don't know if you've ever watched one of those documentaries on Uber, and they give them such a hard time, which I guess I understand.
Totally.
Especially coming into cities with like the taxis and car service. They really jammed them up, you know?
Yeah. I haven't watched them, but I have heard. And also just like, there was like a lot of kinks to work out safety wise. I think that it wasn't like a top priority originally, but it has made a huge difference.
Yeah, with the tracking and such. How was your high school experience in Massachusetts?
It was good. I had a very like I was like very angsty, so good is relative. But like, do you know the show Gilmore Girls?
Of course.
I'm pretty sure Stars Hollow was like based off my hometown.
What's Stars Hollow?
It's like
I know the show. I don't know anything about it.
it's like the town that they all grew up in. Like the main like it's very like quaint. We had like little celebration days and stuff like that. Like so, it was very much like a classic New England hometown.
What's a celebration day?
We had Celebrate Holliston, which every year there was like a fair, and they would do like pumpkin decorating contests.
Oh
and, like,
my
they
gosh,
would, like,
that's great. That's so cute. That's like a fun small town.
Yeah, it was very much like
quaint.
right. Yeah, and they like loved the football team. So it was like, I'm like a dramatic teen, like complaining about my life all the time, but all in all, it was good.
Do you play sports?
Yeah, by the end, I realized I was not coordinated, so I just ran track and cross country by the end. But I started doing field hockey, basketball, lacrosse.
That's so funny. You mentioned running.
Yes.
Because we saw each other.
I've definitely
when,
seen you running.
What was that? Was that September? Or I've definitely seen you since then, but I remember the first time I saw you when we were running.
West Side Highway. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it, but yes, that we were running on the West Side Highway. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Give each other a high five on the way. How often do you run now? Kind
of a lot. Running is something I've done to different levels of consistency since I was probably like 14 or something like that. And I would say nowadays I probably run 4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's the best. I do really love it. Yeah.
Especially on the water. And what were you
oh my
say?
God. No, yeah, I was gonna say like I feel like when I did it competitively, it made it a little negative.
Totally.
Because there's just like all the pressure and stuff like that. But now I really look forward to it.
That's how I felt if I needed to run in any sort of tennis realm or sports realm, because it was somebody yelling at you, telling you to do like this intensity, this amount, this time.
Yes.
And then when it's just running on our own, it's kind of like, all right, go out there. If you plan on running for this long, but you decide to run longer, that's okay. Yeah.
It's great. It
and
really
it's good,
is.
and it's good in the summer for you get a little tan, get a little glow going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I might even have to run tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh, it's so nice out. I'm definitely gonna run tomorrow. I do like workout classes too because I'm like afraid my muscles are gonna atrophy, like my upper body. I never do anything else.
Do you do ClassPass?
Yes, I love ClassPass.
For those of the people listening and watching don't know, explain the ClassPass.
ClassPass is basically you buy this membership and then you get a certain amount of credits, and then individual classes and like workout studios throughout the city, their classes will be worth a certain number of credits. So you pay with the credits you bought. It's great.
I did that I think I did a free monthly trial with my ex-girlfriend like 5 years ago.
Fun.
And well, the idea of it is fun, but I ended up hating it because it was just like we were doing, I think we did SLT together one time.
SLT
we
is
did.
hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
And then we did flywheel. And like also being from a guy who's like, I'm working out every single day. I was like,
Right.
this isn't going to be hard. And then I
Yeah.
go and I'm freaking dying. And then also I'm putting my feet on like this bar. I'm like, if I move 1 inch, I'm going to break my ankle in
you're
half.
out. Yeah.
So and also you don't really sign forms with that. Maybe
No.
I'm sure though once you click sign up, there's like a whole list of legal implications behind taking the class. You
I
know?
think we've probably like signed our life away and just didn't know. But my favorite
Well,
thing.
I mean, and anytime I think just living now,
yeah,
we've
well,
done
exactly.
that
100%.
with everything.
My data's given to everybody.
Yeah, it's like whatever at this point. It's like just promote my stuff,
I
and
know,
then it's all
honestly. I know I act like I have all these privacy. Meanwhile, me and my TikTok, like, hey guys, like,
yeah. And I love how I was telling you, I was like, just don't say West Side Highway. Yeah, like literally, it's fine.
my favorite thing is watching like when boyfriends come into like solid core or something like that because it's so different than the way you guys work out.
Okay, so
Humbling.
I've heard from one of my buddies that is the hardest workout.
It's so hard. I truly.
Why is it so hard? What makes it so hard?
It's just like I leave so drained. I guess so. The first part is core, which I have no, like the weakest core of all time. So like to me that's so hard, but it's I think it's because you use muscles that you don't normally use. Like it's about these like slow twitch muscle fibers. Do I know what that is? No, but they really love them, and you're quivering for 50 minutes. It's so hard.
And then you just leave super sore in places that you wouldn't otherwise be sore.
Yeah, but I will say in terms of like noticeable physical changes, it's the fastest of anything.
Wow.
I like within like 2 weeks, if you're pretty consistent with it, you'll like see like more definition in your abs and your arms and all that stuff. It's crazy.
There's so many workout classes nowadays that it seems to be somewhat overwhelming. But I think if you find something that clears you mentally and you notice changes physically, you can kind of stick with that one. You don't have to go crazy with like doing 6 different workout classes a week.
I am somebody who am constantly like being like, well, maybe if I change this about my diet, workout, whatever, I'll be a Victoria's Secret model. So I get being overwhelmed, but I agree with you. I do think ultimately it's about consistency. And that's what's kind of nice about ClassPass is if you want to try different things, instead of having to pay for a membership for one studio, you're kind of paying for an occasional membership for all of them, which I do like.
Did you ever do SoulCycle?
Oh my God,
Back
yeah.
in the day,
I was
yeah.
a spin instructor.
No.
Yes, I was. Right after college, I was a spin instructor, yeah.
Was that in Massachusetts?
In Madison. I stayed for like a year and a half when I was working at the hospital.
And what was the name of the place?
It's called Psych. They actually had a location
Psych.
in
Oh my God. Like
CYC.
Cycle?
Yeah.
Love it. Wait, is that a chain or no?
Yes, they had a New York location. They closed down. RIP. But not because of me.
Yeah, not because so you had the headset, you were yelling at people.
Yes, I was.
Up, and then did you do the weights at the end too? That's also the thing. Like when I was big into Soul Cycles, I don't know, 8 years ago when it first came out, I would grab the heavier weights.
Oh, I
and
know.
then there's a girl right next to me. She has the same amount of weights, and she's doing everything way better than me. I'm like, what is going on here?
People always get because they're like 5-pound weights. I'm gonna crush this, but you're just holding. It's basically you're just holding them out.
Yeah.
So it's very hard. I love SoulCycle. I don't think it's the hardest workout, but in terms of like mood boosting, I find it to be really like if I'm in a
you're
bad
just
mood.
jamming to all that loud
Yeah.
music. Okay, did you see recently what's going on with like Justin Timberlake's daughter?
No.
I don't know. She's coming out on TikTok. Obviously, this is on my algorithm because like I watch one of them for 5 seconds and then it's like, oh, you want more?
That's funny.
I was like,
Jessica Biel
yeah,
was
sure,
just
whatever.
on mine. She got a bob. It looks bad, but
She got a bob?
Yeah,
She had
it's
such
not
pretty
good.
hair.
I know.
Well, it'll grow back, hopefully.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
think it will.
It's
She's
so
very
sad
pretty.
though. She's beautiful, and she posts this TikTok, and I in my head I was like, oh, I liked her long hair better, but I go to the comments, and everybody's like, ugly, nope, bad idea.
I wonder how people who are child stars are adjusting to that now. It's got to be very
It
difficult.
can't be good. It
No,
can't be good.
especially being a child star in general.
Yeah.
And then now 30 years later, you're having to deal with these comments that are just savage on your TikToks and stuff.
I get one like waiting for the laugh comment on like my TikTok, and I want to kill myself.
Someone wrote on one. They were like, there should be a no punchline button on one of my jokes. I was like, bro, and then it got like a few likes. I was like, who? And you can't see on who likes it.
That's what's so mean.
Which is funny. But now anytime like I get a mean comment, I just say thanks for watching.
Yeah.
With a smiley
Thanks for the
face.
engagement.
Do you know Tony Dabas, comedian? He was he was talking to me the other day. He's like, he showed me a screenshot of like the comments he was responding to. He's like, yeah, man, I bet your life is much better bagging groceries. I'm like, bro, why are you engaging with this person who doesn't even have a real profile?
Yeah, this is
know?
it's so funny.
And it's so easy to be negative behind a fake account or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's very easy to be negative in general, especially in these days.
And especially on the internet. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like, and being in our industry, you really need to have your foot in so many different avenues. Like now working with Snapchat, they are trying to build their comedian presence to where, you know, how you put your clips on TikTok and Instagram. Right. They want to have another avenue where you want to start putting your clips on Snapchat.
Oh, interesting.
So it seems like they want to be in the stages of, you know, growing like TikTok and Instagram, but
okay.
I mean, there's so many places to post them, you know, like YouTube Shorts as well.
Right.
And yeah, it's just like it's growing every day, the social media and the online presence for everyone in every industry.
It's so overwhelming. Just like so many avenues to kind of feel like where you're feeling.
Yeah. And but it feels so new too.
Yeah.
It's like since I guess 2021 is really when it started to pick up. So it's been like 3.5, 4 years, you know, like when you really started to see the vertical clips on these apps. Like before that, I mean, I think it was really probably TikTok that pushed it, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Wait, I cut you off. What's going on with Justin Timberlake's
daughter?
So
his daughter has just been like going crazy. I haven't really read all of her posts, but she's posting stories and then like paragraphs of stuff about how Justin was like a bad father and he was potentially abusive to her, allegedly. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's insane when stuff like that comes out because you think that everybody has just like a peaceful life,
right?
You know,
and it also, yeah, I thought he was like annoying. I didn't think he was
like an annoying dad. Yeah, he seems like that too.
Yeah,
like a nice, over friendly, annoying dad.
I'm also surprised I haven't heard about it because I'm too into like celebrity gossip.
Don't. I'm sure as soon as you leave here, it'll be right up.
My
on
phone
that
has been
feed.
listening.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Wherever it is.
That's also. I wonder if there's some sort of guideline in these apps where it could be like, well, we can kind of use your speaker on your phone to listen to maybe not those words, but like highly lawyer friendly words where 100%. It's just like we can use whatever we need to use.
Yeah. Well, because I'll be having like I'll be in the green room and people will be having conversations near me that I'm not even in. And suddenly I'm getting ads for those things.
And especially since you said you purchase on those apps too. Definitely. They know you.
100%. Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you purchase though? Like dresses?
Yeah. It's literally clothes. It's like, they've gotten very good at, you know, when they'll do like a carousel for of clothes for like certain brands or whatever.
I've seen it. I've never purchased online.
Yeah, they've gotten very good at whatever's first. I'm always gonna click on. I really like
they know exactly what you like.
They're like,
that's
she
insane.
Likes skirts.
Do you feel bad sometimes about purchasing things that are too cheap online?
Yes,
like
I really do. I also I'm like, there's no way that I made a concerted effort in the last year or two to not shop at Zara as much because I used to love Zara, but that can't be good for humanity, the environment, anything like that.
Do you know Temu?
Mm-hmm. Have you got anything on Temu?
No.
I have not either.
No.
That scares me.
But a lot of people are.
Yes.
And you can buy shirts and you can buy shirt and jeans for $3.
It's crazy.
And I saw a clip the other day of like the factory. It was just insane. There was like a mountain of packages coming down, and then people were standing right here. They were literally just scanning the packages, like shirtless men. Just like a mountain of packages, they were just taking it, scanning it, taking it.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of it's hopefully with AI that'll be taken care of by robots,
right?
And stuff. So that's a good part about AI.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so susceptible to, if I see a trend enough times, I'm gonna be like, well, I too am gonna wear boxer shorts forever. So I like have a lot of like phase clothing that I'm trying to be better about. Like, no, do you actually like this? Will you wear this? Is it well made?
Did you go to the mall a lot in high school?
I loved going to the mall. Yeah, I love clothes. I love fashion. And not in this outfit, but like
No, you look good. I like that shirt.
I appreciate that.
What does it say?
This is a
Fleetwood Mac,
yes.
Stevie Nicks, cuz.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love clothes, and I used to work at Lululemon when I was in college.
Okay, cool.
Like not that that's fashion, but
wait, why were you were working so much in college?
I know. I am like afraid of free time. I like to be very overscheduled. I have found about myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
So not a homebody at all.
No, I'm not a homebody, and I'm not. Even when I say to myself, like, okay, you have no plans this weekend, don't make them. I'll like find a way to schedule like every hour of my day, and it's always like running errands, like being outside. Like I can't like sit in my room for too long.
Is that a star sign that you have?
I would be curious to know. I'm an Aquarius, and I know that means that they're like quirky, but I don't know too much about astrology, admittedly.
Okay, so you were working at Psych,
Yeah.
the bar, and Lululemon. Were those your 3 jobs, or did you like work in the library too?
I also worked at a coffee shop. These were at like different times, but yeah. Throughout
That's
college,
crazy.
yeah.
Good for you though.
Thanks. Yeah.
Did you do anything like comedy or production wise when you were in college or no?
Honestly, no. I did a lot of plays and like musical theater when I was growing up, and I loved it. And then I think as I got older, I just got uncomfortable with like eyes on me, like attention, that type of thing. But I always like secretly still loved it. And then it wasn't until kind of things were like looking not promising with med school, and it was the pandemic. I did like a UCB sketch writing class and loved it, and was like, I have always wanted to like be in comedy and be in like a performer. I'm just gonna try it when I moved to the city, because like clearly like the world could end tomorrow, you know, and that's kind of how it happened.
When did you move here?
May 2021.
And then that's when you were living over there on 34th and 9th?
Yes.
How loud was it?
So loud. That was kind of a big part of the reason why we moved. My roommate was like, I can't with this anymore. And I'm also somebody who, to me, our apartment was totally fine. Like, not great, but I was like, oh, this is like, we can make this work forever. And it was also really cheap. And then the minute we moved, because she was like, we have to leave, I was like, oh, it is way better. But I'll stay in a bad situation for so long. I don't even notice.
But what was it? Because the Lincoln Tunnel's over there.
Yes, the Lincoln Tunnel's over there. We're also like really close to Penn Station. So
yes.
that's kind of loud and sketchy. And then also just like there wasn't a ton of light in the apartment. Like it was totally fine, livable, but not a great apartment by any means. And she was like, we are in our like later 20s. We can afford to like live somewhere a little bit better. Let's try. And I was like, fine.
Would you say that that potentially is the worst street in the city, 34th Street?
Honestly, that's not an unfair statement.
Yeah.
You know?
People might say 42nd or
Yeah.
14th, but I'd say 34th Street has a pretty good argument for that. Just because it has so many hubs directly across. It's like Herald Square, Bryant Park, 34th and 1st, no, that's the Midtown Tunnel. And then over by, 11th Avenue, Lincoln Tunnel. There's just so much thoroughfare on 34th Street.
34th, yeah, now that you're putting it into perspective that way, it probably is the worst street in the city.
There are good pockets on 34th Street, though.
No, that's the thing is like it was convenient. You know where that like the Hudson Square Mall is and the Whole Foods and that type of thing?
Oh, yeah.
It was so close to that. That felt really convenient.
Right.
But that was really the only draw.
It still seems like Hudson Yard was it near Hudson Yards,
Yeah.
kind of? Mm-hmm. Do you like Hudson Yards?
I do. It's very it doesn't feel like
Corporate?
Yes, it feels very corporate. Yeah.
The mall is nice.
The mall's so nice.
But apparently they're going to be building either more office buildings in that area where all those trains are still hanging out.
Oh, really?
Or they might be building a park. I guess it kind of depends on who owns that land. I think it's Related is the company that owns it, but they're huge developers. So I would imagine that they want to get the best bang for their buck, and building a public park over there wouldn't really be the answer. But it seems like that would be such a good spot.
You would think.
For a park.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely
like a big
should do
green area. Like they kind of what they've done on near the beach area of 14th Street on the West Side Highway.
Yes.
That's been fresh. If you guys haven't checked that out, check it out.
I
It's
just
nice.
saw that recently because they were developing it while I lived there, and I used to run down there.
Yeah, it's taken forever, but
Yeah.
it's super nice
It
over
does
there.
look
There's
good.
a beach. Yeah. And then you go a little bit further down, there's some grass.
Yeah.
Like underrated. People don't really know about it. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about it that much, but the only other enormous grass is in Central Park. You ever go to Central Park? The
I
Gray
love Central
Lawn?
Park. Yeah, I do. I don't go as much as I would like to, but I have a friend who lives up there. She used to live closer. She used to live in like 72nd, and now she's a little further up, but I do love going there.
You don't have a pet, do you?
No, my roommate and I have been talking about getting like a mini dachshund for a while. I love those, but we haven't.
Because then how would you take care of it?
That's the thing.
And
is I
yeah, it's
literally
very
never
time consuming too.
And I feel really bad for dogs who like live in the city, and especially when their owners are gone so often. So we probably won't do it, but I would love to.
And what would the split up be after you guys?
Well, right, exactly, yeah, because she never grew up with a pet, so I know that I would probably end up taking the dog, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
But if she happens to get attached, too sad. I
Oh
can't.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the saddest thing about dogs too, is like in most cases they're gonna die before you, which is sad.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if they don't, then that's sad too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so sad.
Either way.
No one can explain it to them. It's really sad.
It's very insane. Mm-hmm. And some dogs are smarter than others. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people have dogs in the city, and it's like, sometimes I don't understand it because it takes so much time, effort, resources, especially for people who are very busy.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be like home early, up early. And I think that's some people's lifestyle. I know a lot of women when they get like older and they're not going out as much, but they're single, a lot of times they'll get dogs, and I get that. But
question, maybe I'm being sexist and saying this, doesn't that kind of close you off if you're like older and single and have a dog in your life?
I think it could.
Dog presence, yeah.
Because you're like, I guess there's like less flexibility to be out and meet new people and travel and stuff. But I think it's like, you're like, well, if I don't have a man relationship, I want that like companionship type of thing. So
that's
I would do it.
Garbage pit. Don't worry. So you would get a dog?
If I didn't live the life I lead currently, which is not going to change, but if I wasn't trying to be a stand-up comedian, then yeah, I would go.
Do you want to stay in the city the rest of your life?
I think so.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good. We got you. And how often do you go back home?
Not that often, honestly. I go home like probably once a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you're home?
Nothing. I just sit on the couch. I hang out with my dog. And because my parents still live in my hometown growing up, and I don't want to run into people that I know. So
oh, really? A lot of friends still in the same hometown doing
a lot of people who closes. I know, yeah. And then it's funny. I run the same running routes that I used to when I was like in high school.
I still do that even
Isn't that
here.
Weird?
I don't know. In high school, you still do?
Yeah. Like when I go home and I stay at my parents' house, I like run what I used to like run when I ran track.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Okay, do you still run the high school track or no?
No. I would humble myself so quickly. I'm so much slower than I used to be.
What event did you run?
The mile and the 2 mile.
And what was your fastest mile?
I think a 5:40.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't
I remember
bad.
my freshman year, I ran a 5:36 and I was dying
It's
afterwards.
hard.
Yeah, that's so fast.
Yeah.
I felt.
Good times. I know. And now thinking about that, I'm like, I could never. I think I'm going to do a half marathon soon because Tori's running a full marathon. So I was like, maybe I'll just like train with her.
Where's she running the full marathon?
She signed up for the New York one.
And she got in?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
what's was it like easy for her to get in, or
I think
is
she
it
went
application
through charity.
process? Yeah.
So
Oh,
she didn't
right.
have to as
That
much.
makes it way easier.
Yeah. The only thing that's stressful about that is like you have to raise a lot of money if you don't get other people to do it.
Oh, it's like a bringer.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
If you don't raise X amount, they won't let you run.
Yeah.
Which is funny. You'd be like, yeah, whatever. I'll just run it on my own.
Right.
I don't know. That could be difficult. Which one are you thinking about doing? The half?
I wish I did the Brooklyn half because that looked really fun.
Oh, that was the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the other week, rather.
Yeah. But apparently if you did that as a marathon, it was like an up and back, which kind of sucks. So I heard don't do the Brooklyn half as a marathon.
Oh, okay. Like it's less scenic, you mean?
Yeah, and I think it just gets like really quiet. Like people sort of like it's like everyone drops off and like goes to the finish line and then you just have to like run back by yourself. I guess is what I was told. So
yeah, and people aren't like as fired up as like 13.1 than
exactly.
26.2.
Yeah, they're like, well, it's also the starting line, so in a way you didn't go anywhere. You know?
You kind of just did a little loop.
Yeah, good for you.
How much do you run when you run now?
Not that much. I try and do like 5, and that's kind of.
And what is that? Like, how many minutes is that for you?
Like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends. Same for
Yeah.
me. I never really time. I don't
Yeah.
wear headphones. Do you wear headphones out there?
I do. That's serial killer. That's
I know. Well, everyone literally
Yeah.
says that. So I go to the gym. I don't bring my phone. No headphones. And then afterwards, I'll run. I love it. And everyone's wearing that. And I'll go tarps off when you see me. Probably I'm not wearing a shirt. But yeah, I just like the sounds, I guess.
Do you think?
Of course, I think.
Sorry, that was offensive. I'm like, are you blank in the head for 2 hours?
No, it wasn't offensive. It was a good question. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But
My
then
dad
again,
does that.
yeah, but he was probably doing that when he was growing up, you know. And then the Walkman came out. He was probably carrying that thing.
No, that's so true, actually. Well, because when I was growing up, the reason why I got into running is both my parents ran, and my dad would run the same, like 6 minute miles every day of my childhood. Same route, no music, and we'd all be like, "What are you running from, you freak?" Like, but that is a similar vibe. He's like, "No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be distracted from my breathing. I want to like, be.
Yeah, I don't really focus on my breathing.
Yeah,
because I'm going slow enough where I'm just like, I guess thinking.
You're like, I can just breathe normally.
Yeah. People say running to clear your head, but also I've heard like you gather your thoughts.
That is definitely true. Have you ever thought of bits while you're working out?
Done what?
Like thought of bits?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like sometimes I feel like it'll help me like flesh out what I'm trying to say in a joke if I'm like running and it's kind of like in the back of my head.
Yeah, or I'll think, or maybe I'll think of new things too.
Yeah, totally.
That'll happen sometimes. I rarely see people I know though when I'm running, and I almost always see people. Like if I walk for an hour, for sure I'm seeing someone I know.
Oh, I know.
If I run for an hour, I never see anyone.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so weird.
Or I always used to feel like growing up because my hometown's pretty small. Whenever I stopped to walk on a run, like I got too tired, I'd always see someone or like someone would honk, and you're like, I swear I was running for multiple miles before this.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. But I think it relaxes people, and especially since it's a nicer out wherever you are. You know, you can get out there and run.
Do it.
What's the best workout you think though? Your best class pass that you do?
You mean in terms of functionality, solid core for sure. In terms of, also I think what's good about that one is like sometimes they'll do mile high. Have you ever done that?
I've seen it. What is it?
It's like a treadmill workout. And my thing with that is I do really like it. I think it's helped with my speed. But I'm like, in theory, I could do this by myself. Whereas like I don't own a reformer.
You don't need to like be on a. Is it on a treadmill?
Yes, exactly.
What do you mean on a reformer though?
Like for solid core, like unless I'm paying for solid core, I'm never going to be able to do that workout. Whereas like something like Mile High or even like a Barry's boot camp, like I could like do that on my own. It would like be a little annoying, but I could figure it out versus like solid core. It's worth the money just in the sense that it's the only place I'm going to be able to do that.
Right.
Which is that big like Pilates machine.
So overall, you'd say solid core?
Yeah. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, I've heard it's the hardest one. I guess I got to try it sometime.
You got to try. It's so good.
Are there like good-looking people in there, or what?
Oh, everyone's
Can I meet a girl? I can meet my girlfriend.
100% meet a girl.
Let's go! All right, I'm down.
The Pilates princesses, and they're not even breaking a sweat. They're all in like there's like matching sets. They look so hot. You will absolutely meet the love of your life.
All right, we'll see.
And she'll be a titan.
I love that. That's good. It's like $50.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So that's like $1 a minute.
Yeah, but.
It's what you got to pay on these dating apps these days.
No, honestly.
Oh, but is that where you met your boyfriend, by the way? On dating app or in person?
No, we were friends first, so I just met him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. They say that's the best way to do it.
I know. I have a joke about that I'm trying to work on because, like, people always tell you should meet your friends, but I'm like, you can't lie about anything when you're friends first, and then you start dating. And I used to lie about stuff all the time when I date people. So now he just has to take me as I am, and that sucks.
No, that's beautiful.
Ugh, whatever.
Pop up your Instagram. Please let us know where we can find you and what your dates are coming up. This will be out on this Thursday. So in 2 days, if you have something this weekend or next weekend, please plug away.
Yeah. Instagram is at Maggie Naughton. And then I'm pretty much at Greenwich Village every night, 7:30 and 9:30. This weekend, I'll be at the 6 on Friday, Saturday, and 7:30 on Sunday.
Love it. Maggie, thanks so much for coming on. Guys, we had a great time. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.